Stop what you're working on immediately because the information I'm sharing here isn't guesswork, opinion, or hypothesis. At 7:43 this morning, three key Republican senators entered Mitch McConnell's office for what seemed like a standard leadership discussion. They emerged 47 minutes later, and in under 2 hours, the Capitol exploded into the biggest intra-party rebellion since the Watergate scandal. This isn't rooted in policy clashes. It's top Republicans deciding that Donald Trump is no longer manageable, and the spark behind it will surprise you. If you're invested in the outcome, hit subscribe on this channel now and enable alerts since the coming 72 hours could decide if the Republican Party holds together or breaks apart entirely. Let's dive in. What hasn't made headlines yet is this, and I verified it through three distinct contacts within the Senate Republican group. On Wednesday at 2:17 a.m., Donald Trump dialed the Senate Majority Leader. He insisted on a quick vote for something he labeled the Emergency Powers Expansion Act. His demand was clear. Get it done by Friday, or I'll challenge every one of you in primaries. He warned of stumping against fellow Republicans in their home territories. By 6:30 a.m., a private recording emerged capturing Trump stating outright, "I don't require the Senate's input. They answer to me." The clip spread quickly among high-level Republicans. The response wasn't apprehension, it was outright anger. At 7:43 a.m., they called an urgent session. McConnell, Thune, Barrasso, Cornyn, 47 minutes in private. The choice those four made marks the strongest pushback against Trump's influence from inside his own ranks to date. To grasp the weight of this morning's defiance, consider how Donald Trump has maintained dominance over Senate Republicans for 8 years. It's not driven by shared beliefs or agendas. It's built on intimidation. And when intimidation is used skillfully, it can dominate a whole political organization. Let me outline three cases that every Republican senator knows all too well. In 2020, Mitt Romney chose to vote for conviction during Trump's initial impeachment. Trump's comeback was swift and harsh, a total embarrassment. Romney faced rebuke from his state's party. He became an outcast. His standing weakened. The warning to other senators was loud and clear: cross me and you'll suffer. In 2021, Bill Cassidy supported conviction in the follow-up impeachment. He bent over backward to mend ties, showing difference in public, aligning on key votes, seeking favor that never materialized. Once his value faded, Trump backed a rival in his primary. Regardless, the lesson stuck. Devotion to Trump offers no shield. It's just a temporary pause. In 2023, Kevin McCarthy brokered a deal on the debt limit. Trump disapproved behind the scenes. Soon after, McCarthy lost his speakership. The 5-point became undeniable. I can ruin anyone, anytime, for any cause. This illustrates how dictatorial influence operates on the ground. You don't have to target everyone, just set precedents. Once those are established, dread handles the follow-through. For 8 years, that dread has been unbreakable. Republican senators have seen futures shattered, peers dismantled, the cost of opposition unfold live. Each time they figured that compliance beats confrontation. But Trump overlooked one thing. Intimidation only lasts until folks see the danger as permanent. That insight hit this week as three elements aligned to flip the equation. First, the voting numbers have turned. The 2024 Senate races look tough for Republicans. 23 of their seats in play versus just 11 for Democrats. And surveys indicate linking to Trump now hurts more than helps. Data from Montana, Ohio, Pennsylvania reveals Republicans trailing by 6 to 8 points when associated with him. One senator confided to an associate, quoting directly, "I can stand up for traditional values, but not for disorder." Second, the Greenland fiasco isn't merely awkward, it's risky. Allies in NATO are on edge. Defense experts are sounding alarms. A former four-star admiral shared with the press, "This isn't planning, it's unpredictability." Members of the Senate Armed Services Committee are incensed as they get what most Americans miss, suggesting force against partner lands isn't bargaining, it's upending global stability. Third, the court cases are gaining speed. Several criminal proceedings are ramping up. The Supreme Court is turning down urgent halts. Hearings are locking in. A prominent Republican attorney noted in confidence, "We're set to pick a candidate who could be behind bars by election time. Mix electoral weakness, reckless diplomacy, and legal jeopardy, and the trade-off looks entirely new. Protecting Trump shifts from awkward to career-ending from two insiders updated on the session. Here's the rundown of events in Mitch McConnell's office that Wednesday morning. Attendees included McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader and Guardian of Traditions, John Thune, the Minority Whip and Practical Thinker, John Barrasso, the Conference Chair facing tough choices, and John Cornyn, the Texas veteran embodying the vote math all Republicans are weighing. McConnell kicked off by replaying the audio, the complete 3-minute clip of Donald Trump declaring, "I don't need the Senate, they report to me." He ran it again. No one uttered a word. The quiet was heavy per one account, because each person there recognized the implication. This wasn't a leader annoyed with lawmakers, it was one dismissing them as unnecessary. Then the pivotal dialogue unfolded. John Thune went first. "We can't justify this. Not the Greenland talk, not the push for expanded powers, not the vow to oust our colleagues. We can't face cameras and sell this to weary voters." John Barrasso countered his words, showing the tension. "Going against him openly means he takes us down one by one. We've seen it. Romney, Cassidy, Cheney, all who resisted are sidelined or out. What's changed?" Mitch McConnell leaned in. "Here's the change. He's going to sink us either way. It's not about our political futures anymore. It's about protecting the system or letting it fall. And I'm saying if we don't stand firm today, there will be nothing left to safeguard." John Cornyn brought in the numbers from Texas. "My polls show me behind by 4. Every dip ties back to Trump-linked turmoil. My constituents crave steadiness and real leadership, not excuses for why the president is eyeing an invasion of Greenland." This moment mattered because McConnell's idea went beyond gestures. It was foundational. He suggested crafting a shared note to the White House, firmly stating no vote on power expansions, declaring leadership won't join Trump on the trail until diplomatic tones soften, and warning that if he starts primary fights against current members, leadership will back them with the full resources of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. McConnell eyed each one. "Tell me now, are you on board?" Soon agreed right away. Cornyn followed. Barrasso paused for what felt like an endless 30 seconds as described. Then, "This is like signing my own end." McConnell replied, "It's fulfilling our duty." Barrasso consented. 4 agreements from 4 leaders, and with that, the framework binding the Republican Party for 8 years started to unravel. Events accelerated from there. At 9:15 a.m., McConnell reached out personally to 15 top Republican senators. The pitch was straightforward. "We're proceeding. Join us." 3 signed on fast. Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski as anticipated, but 2 more stunned this group. Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio. Pause on this because Graham's move is seismic. He's been Trump's loudest champion. Golfing with him recently, defending him endlessly on air through charges, probes, controversies, and now he's turned. Per a contact near Graham he shared with peers on a call, "I've backed it all. The accusations, the scrutiny, the language. I've supported him in situations that would have doomed anyone else, but I won't justify threats against friendly lands. I won't back eroding Senate power. I won't stand for labeling dissenting senators as betrayers. There's a boundary, and he's over it." By 10:47 a.m., the document was ready. 5 pages of legal and constitutional wording. The core line from a version I've reviewed, "We cannot with clear minds aid actions that endanger the foundational system and weaken the Senate's core rights." 12 endorsements lined up by midday. At 11:30 a.m., word hit Trump. Sources say an assistant flagged it via secure channel. McConnell and 11 more on letter against power push releasing today. Trump's reply from shared staff messages was in shouts, "Traitors, everyone, see what comes next." He started dialing supporters. At 12:15 p.m., he rang Lindsey Graham personally. The talk was brief, under 2 minutes. From an informed source, Trump declared, "You're finished with me, Graham. So be it." Line dropped. Trump tried Marco Rubio. "I built you. I'll dismantle you." "Rubio, you're dismantling yourself. Proceed as you must." Trump attempted McConnell 3 times. No pickup. By 1:40 p.m., the divide showed publicly. House Republicans voiced total backing for the president. Senate Republicans stayed notably quiet. Journalists spotted the difference fast. By 2 p.m., major networks covered Senate GOP heads declining to endorse Trump's power request. At 3:00 p.m., the letter surfaced deliberately. The Washington Post got it first. Politico verified names shortly. By 3:15, it was everywhere, and observers grasped the gravity. Not a quiet spat, but outright rebellion. But here's a key point that emerged 20 minutes post-release, underscoring the stakes. From a veteran Republican advisor with access to plans, Senate leaders have a three-phase backup for Trump's pushback. Phase 1, if he strikes openly, 5 more senators release endorsements. Leaders hold a briefing. The tone, "We honor the office, but the Constitution comes before it." Odds 80%. Phase 2, if primaries launch, the leadership fund pledges $50 million for defenses. The senatorial committee cuts off challengers. Business backers activate the stance. The Senate group unites odds 60%. Phase 3, the one they dread. If escalation persists, the Senate advances a measure curbing executive emergencies. This needs cross-party support with Democrats, possibly including a rebuke vote. The position core limits aren't up for debate. Odds 30%. One senator in the planning told an ally directly, "We've simulated all paths. If he seeks battle, we're ready. But he must realize we're not yielding this round." Press that like if you're connecting the dots because the Democrats' approach I'm about to cover will reshape how you view this. As Republicans fragmented that Wednesday afternoon, Senate Democrats gathered privately. Sources inside say Chuck Schumer picked a path that shapes the crisis ahead. Democrats had 2 routes. Route 1, capitalize on the mess. Hit Trump and Republicans as one. Painted as GOP infighting shows they're unfit to lead. Campaign on the mess. Gains could be huge, but the danger Republicans might bond against outsiders with Democrats as the glue. Route 2, foster the uprising. Keep quiet in public. Provide subtle backing for system safeguards. Let Republicans fully claim the divide. Gains are subtler, but the edge Trump can't spin it as party versus party. From 3 aware of Schumer's view, he selected Route 2. This counts because it's like strategic redirection. By holding fire, Democrats strip Trump of his top tool. When Republicans rebel and Democrats stay mum, the focus stays on Trump clashing with his side. And that's a fight he can't claim victory in. Quietly, Democratic heads advised partners skip slams on the Republican note. No gloating on TV, no triumphs. Instead, subtle bids to join on power-curbing bills if Republicans advance. The word to GOP senators will aid the proper step without costing you votes. The GOP reaction to this hush has been striking. Without Democrats as a foe to unite over, inner rifts grow deeper. Wednesday night, 4:30 p.m. Trump's Truth Social lit up. 27 updates in 90 minutes. All bold. Rhinos wreck the party. Ooh them. Senate heads. SARS establishment puppets. The rage is raw and unchecked. 5:15 p.m. First primary foe declared a pro-MAGA candidate filed in South Carolina. Aim Lindsey Graham. Graham's reply to press outside. Come at me. 6:40 p.m. Fox Prime slots divided live. Sean Hannity stood by Trump fully. Laura Ingraham voiced deep worries on Greenland words. Tucker Carlson. GOP finally growing a backbone. For years, right-leaning outlets spoke uniformly. Now, not 8 p.m. Business funders moved. 3 big Republican donors put out a combined note. We endorse system-based rule and steady structures. Decoded. We're with the Senate, not Trump. 9:30 p.m. The tally hit 17. 17 GOP senators openly behind McConnell's note. 5 more pledged quietly. The key figure, 18 with 18 Republicans and Democrats. That's enough to halt power growth. 18 spells Trump's defeat, but overnight as Trump vented and DC buzzed, it highlighted the crisis's direction. Thursday 6 a.m. GOP internal polls slipped to Politico. Figures crush standard Republican in key states up 2. Same with Trump tie down 4, a 6-point drop from his involvement. The line between Senate control and wipeout. 7:30 a.m. unreported until now. Confirmed by 3 Senate teams. 42 GOP Senate aides penned an inner memo. We can't ethically keep justifying the unjustifiable. It warned of group walkouts if bosses retreat from the note. This breaks norms. Entry-level staff pushing superiors. When call takers and writers bail, offices grind to halt. 8:15 a.m. Commerce leaders spoke. The U.S. chamber system steadiness key for business expansion and trust, meaning end the turmoil or funds dry up. Manufacturers group match soon after. Big business signaled Senate Republicans where to stand. 900 a.m. Global voices joined. UK's Prime Minister's team troubled by talk on ally borders. Germany. France echoed. NATO head alliance pledges are sacred fixed. Closest partners just called out a U.S. leader publicly. And GOP senators see Trump sparked a real-world mess. Notice the pattern. Trump's under siege from his senators, aides, funders. Press, partners abroad. Not one angle. Total surround cornered. Choices are pull back or ramp up. 10 Gao. Thursday, Trump picked ramp up. He set an urgent gathering spot. South Carolina Graham's turf. When Saturday, intent clear. True supporters versus fakes. Trump's waging open battle on his party. 11:30 a.m. White House huddle. Trump pulled in loyal House figures. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Buart, Freedom Caucus lead, plotting what a source termed full-force push on Senate GOP. 12:45 p.m. Risks climbed. Trump on truth. The 17 betrayers will regret. He urged crowds at Senate spots. Security upped alerts. Capitol Police on guard. 1 p.m. McConnell countered via aid. Bullying won't sway our duties. The Senate serves people in law, not one person, but unreported in that. Confirmed by 3, he discreetly contacted 5 Democratic senators. Not Schumer, too obvious. Moderates like Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, John Tester, Sherrod Brown, Bob Casey. Ask if we curb emergencies, you'll back all yes. Numbers add 17 GOP pledges, 5 Dems ready. 22 votes past the 18 needed to stop powers via majority. Trump fell short. He's unaware, but the pushback won. Pulling back this 48-hour span signals a core change in U.S. governance. Beyond one event, it's the grip of top-own rule crumbling live. One dread loses as a lever. Trump's setup hinged on Republicans fearing him over vote losses. That flipped. When staying alive means ditching Trump, not clinging, dread reverses. You can't oust 17 senators. The party can't weather that split. Every senator crunching this knows. 2-group effort shatters top-own rule. Strong men thrive on division, taking down one at a time. Romney isolated, wrecked. Cassidy shamed solo but united with public pledges and signatures. It shifts. McConnell's smart play make it collective, not solo. No lone target when all sign. Burden shared safety, joint. 3 bodies like the Senate can push back if they decide. The Senate holds powers Trump wants. Emergency nods. Judge okays, spending calls. For 8 years, they handed it over willingly, fearing personal hits. Now reclaiming it shows the surrender was optional, not fixed. Next 48 hours, 3 paths with fair odds. Path 1, Trump eases off, softens words, shelves power, ask, calls it win. Shift topics, all claim success. Odds 25%, path 2, deadlock. Trump keeps jabs but skips full oust war. Senate stays solid. No power curb push. Tense hold to votes break creeps slow odds 50%. Path 3 total break. Trump unleashes primary storm. Senate okays power limits with deem votes. Party divides formal vote disaster. November odds 25%. From talks with 8 Senate spots, path 2 edges to 3. The gap won't mend. It'll spread steady, not sudden. Trump pushes on. GOP resists more. Divide widens daily till permanent snap. Wrapping up. Grasp this week's core. The uprising isn't on Greenland trade or plans. It's who steers the Republican Party. Trump sought total say. Senate refused. That refusal alters all. The split is built in, not mood-based, not upset leaders venting, calculated endurance. When vote math shifts, Trump defense risks seats. Actions adjust. Devotion turns risk. But this concerns me. And should all Americans, any side-cornered strong men, intensify? Trump's new to this inner challenge. His habit hit back fiercer. What if that targets his own? Can the party endure internal clash? Can our system handle GOP self-destruct? No clear answers, but soon we'll see. Subscribe now. Tap alerts next 48 hours. Trump retreats or intensifies. GOP senators solid or split. We'll learn if this defiance sparks full change or fades. I'll cover each update. This breakdown's unique here. The next 72 hours decide if Trump runs the Republican Party or if the Republican Party finally runs.